The smell hit Marcus before he even touched the doorknob. It wasn't just a bad scent. It was wrong, heavy, sour, thick enough to make the air feel dirty. He froze in the hallway of their Houston apartment, staring at the living room where his wife, Amara, beautiful, caramel-skinned, stunning Amara, sat on the edge of the couch, trembling. She clutched her stomach, and her eyes darted to the plate of food on the dining table, the same plate she had begged him to eat from. "Marcus, please," she whispered, her voice shaky. "Just sit down, let's eat together." But all he could focus on was that smell, the same smell he had been noticing for weeks. The smell that began right after she underwent the BBL surgery she had insisted would change everything. The smell that kept getting worse. He stepped back slowly, eyes narrowing. "Amara, what is going on? And why does it smell like something died in here?" Her lips parted, but instead of answering, she started crying. Not soft tears, loud, panicked sobs. Suddenly, Marcus, stomach twisted violently, not from emotion, from nausea. His eyes darted to the half-eaten spoon of jollof rice he had already swallowed before noticing the strange bitterness. His breathing grew shallow. His vision blurred. "Amara," his voice cracked, "what did you put in my food?" She shot up from the couch, running toward him as he staggered back against the wall. "You forced my hand, Marcus," she shouted, her voice cracking under pressure. "You wanted to divorce me, throw me away like I don't matter. What did you expect me to do? Let you ruin me? Let you shame me?" His legs buckled. He slid down the wall, eyes widening in shock. Amara hovered over him, shaking, sweating, her once perfect face now shadowed with desperation. "You were supposed to love me, all of me," she whispered, "even when the surgery went wrong." Marcus tried to speak, but his mouth wouldn't form the words. His chest tightened, breaths becoming shallow. Amara grabbed his face, tears dripping onto his shirt. "Please don't die, Marcus. Not yet. Not before you understand why I did this." But his vision was already fading to black. And just as his body went limp, a loud bang echoed through the apartment door. Someone was outside. Someone pounding violently. "Open this door now. Amara, I know you're in there." Her eyes widened with terror. She wasn't expecting anyone. She wasn't prepared for this. And whoever was at that door wasn't leaving. The pounding grew louder, angrier. "Amara, open this door before I break it down." Her breath caught in her throat, because she recognized the voice. And it was the last person she ever wanted to face right now. The door handle twisted. Someone was trying to force themselves inside. The entire room froze. And as Marcus lay motionless at her feet, Amara knew her world was seconds away from exploding. Who was at the door? Had they heard the argument? Had they seen Marcus collapse? Before she could move, before she could hide anything, the door flew open, and the figure standing there gasped as their eyes landed on the scene. Everything was about to unravel. The door slammed against the wall as Detective Raymond Cole, Amara's older brother, stormed into the apartment. He was still in his navy blue off-duty jacket, badge clipped to his belt, eyes blazing with fury. "Amara, why weren't you answering my calls? I've been trying to reach." His words died in his throat. His eyes fell on Marcus, collapsed on the floor, barely breathing. His pupils widened. Then he saw the food. Then he saw Amara's trembling hands covered in sweat. "Amara," he said slowly, voice dropping into a dangerous whisper. "What happened here?" Amara stepped back instinctively, her breath shaking, her mind racing. "Raymond, wait, just listen." But Raymond was already kneeling beside Marcus, checking his pulse, his breathing, his eyes. He wasn't dead, but he was close. "His heart rate is dropping," Raymond muttered. Amara felt her entire body lock with fear. If Marcus died, she knew exactly who the world would blame. Raymond stood up in one sudden movement. "What did you do to him, Amara?" His voice was no longer that of a protective brother. It was the stern voice of an officer trained to read lies, secrets, and guilt. Her knees weakened. I didn't mean, I just wanted to talk to him, but he said he was leaving me. He said he wanted a divorce. That doesn't explain why your husband is on the floor fighting for his life. Raymond stepped forward, and Amara stumbled backward into the dining table. Plates rattled. Her tears ran freely. You don't understand, she whispered. Everything fell apart after the surgery. Raymond froze for a moment, confusion mixing with concern. What surgery? Amara swallowed hard. The BBL, the one I told you I was thinking about. I thought you said you changed your mind. I didn't, she said quietly. I went ahead with it. I thought it would help my marriage. I thought it would make Marcus look at me again like he used to. Raymond ran a hand over his face, frustration boiling. And now? Amara lowered her head in shame. It got infected, she whispered. Badly. I didn't listen when the nurse told me to rest. I went to work. I wore tight clothes. I pushed myself too hard. And then the smell started. She hugged herself tightly. At first, it was small, then worse. Marcus couldn't stand to be around me. He started sleeping in the guest room. He said he couldn't take the smell anymore. He thought I didn't shower. He thought I wasn't clean. Raymond exhaled slowly, eyes closing for a brief moment. And you didn't tell him the truth. He never gave me the chance. He kept blaming me, calling me dramatic when I told him I was in pain. He mocked the surgery. He said I wasted money and ruined my body. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I just wanted him to love me again. Raymond's expression softened for a fraction of a second, but only for a fraction. And the food, Amara, he asked quietly. What did you put in it? Amara's heartbeat thundered in her ears. Her voice barely came out. Just something to make him sick, not to kill him. I wanted to scare him. I wanted him to stop threatening divorce every day. I wanted him to see how much I was hurting. Raymond stared at her in disbelief. You poisoned your husband, even if it was just a little. Amara, do you hear how insane that sounds? She covered her face with both hands, choking on her sobs. I wasn't thinking straight. Raymond grabbed her wrists and pulled her hands down gently. Well, you need to think straight now, because we don't have much time. Amara blinked through her tears. Time for what? For what happens when the paramedics arrive, Raymond said, his voice steady. And when they ask questions, and when Marcus wakes up if he wakes up. Her stomach dropped. He was right, doctors ask questions. Police investigate mysterious collapses. Marcus, once conscious, would not protect her. He would say everything. Her life would be over. Raymond didn't give her time to think. He reached for his phone. I need to call an ambulance. He needs immediate medical attention. No, Amara grabbed his arm. Raymond, please. If the hospital gets involved, they'll know he was poisoned. And what's the alternative? He snapped. Let him die here. She backed away, shaking her head violently. No, I don't want him dead. Well, whether you want it or not, that is exactly what will happen if we keep standing here. Raymond pushed past her, but Amara grabbed him again, her grip desperate. Raymond, please, you're my brother. Help me, I need you. I can't survive prison, I can't survive losing everything. Please don't let them take me. His face hardened again. The struggle between family and duty was visible in his eyes. I should arrest you right now, he said softly. Terror shot through her. But I won't, he continued. She gasped, hope flickering. Not yet, he said, but you will tell me the truth about everything, and you will not lie. I won't, she whispered. I promise. Raymond knelt again beside Marcus, checking his breathing. We can still save him, he muttered, but we have minutes, not hours. Amara wiped her face, trembling from head to toe. What do I do? She asked. Raymond looked up at her. You're going to help me carry him to my car. We're taking him to a private clinic. No police reports, no paperwork, no questions. She nodded rapidly, too relieved to speak. But Raymond wasn't finished. And Amara, he said firmly, understand this. If anything else goes wrong, if he dies, if you lie to me, if anyone else gets involved, I will handcuff you myself." Amara swallowed. "I understand." Together, they lifted Marcus, who groaned faintly but didn't wake. His head slumped against Raymond's shoulder. Amara held his legs, tears dripping on his shoes as they moved toward the door. Her heart pounded harder with every step. But just as they reached the exit, there was another knock. A slow, heavy knock this time. Amara's eyes widened. Raymond stiffened. Because this knock wasn't from a neighbor. It wasn't from a stranger. It was from someone who knew exactly what was inside the apartment. Someone who had been waiting for the right moment to show up. The knocking came again, louder. Raymond whispered, "Amara, who else knows you're here?" She swallowed hard. And the name she whispered made Raymond's entire body tense. Because it was the one person who could make everything unravel before they even reached the car. The hallway fell silent as the heavy knocking echoed again, slow, deliberate, like someone knocking with confidence, not fear. Amara's breath caught in her throat as she shifted Marcus, legs in her hands. Raymond whispered sharply, "Who is it, Amara? Who else knows you're here?" She hesitated, eyes glistening with dread. It's Dr. Langston." Raymond froze. "The surgeon." She nodded nervously. "Yes, he's been calling me for days. I missed 2 follow-up appointments. He said if I didn't come in, he would come himself. I thought he was bluffing." Raymond clenched his jaw. Why would he come here? Surgeons don't make house calls. But Amara didn't answer, and that silence was enough to make Raymond's instincts flare. Someone knocked again, this time faster, firmer. "Ms. Amara," Dr. Langston's deep voice filled the hallway. "We need to talk immediately. I know you're inside." Raymond whispered harshly, "We can't let him see Marcus like this. If he calls authorities, everything spirals." Amara nodded frantically. But Marcus was too heavy to move quickly, and they were already halfway into the living room. She could hear Dr. Langston jiggling the handle now. Raymond made a split-second decision. Drop his legs gently, now. They lowered Marcus onto the rug. Raymond motioned for Amara to stay behind him. He took a deep breath and opened the door just enough to stick his head out. Dr. Langston, a tall, bald African-American man with sharp glasses and a stern face, stood in the dim hallway. His brows lifted in surprise. "Detective Cole, what are you doing here?" Raymond forced a polite smile. "Evening, doctor. My sister wasn't feeling well. I came to check on her." The doctor leaned to the side, trying to see inside. "I've been trying to reach her regarding her post-operative condition. It's urgent." "I understand," Raymond replied, "but now isn't a good time." Dr. Langston stiffened. "Her infection may have worsened. Her last blood work showed signs of internal complications. I need to see her." Raymond raised an eyebrow. "You have her blood work." Dr. Langston swallowed, realizing he had said too much. "Doctor," Raymond said slowly, "why don't you explain what exactly is happening? Because this doesn't sound normal." The surgeon sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. "Detective, please, let me in. This isn't a conversation for the hallway." Behind Raymond, Amara panicked. Her heart raced so loudly she felt the floor vibrating beneath her. Raymond glanced back once. Amara shook her head violently. She didn't want the doctor inside. She didn't want him seeing Marcus. She didn't want any more witnesses. Raymond turned back to Dr. Langston, voice firm. "Doctor, whatever you have to say, you say it here." Dr. Langston hesitated, then finally spoke. "Your sister's surgery was fine," he began, "but she didn't follow instructions. She missed her antibiotics. Her wound opened internally. There's necrotic tissue now." Raymond's chest tightened. "That smell," Dr. Langston continued quietly, "means the infection is spreading fast. She's in danger. She could go into shock if not treated." Amara closed her eyes in shame. She had known something was wrong, but she hid it, hoping it would go away. Raymond sighed heavily. All right, come in. Amara's blood froze. Raymond stepped aside. Dr. Langston entered. His nostrils flared almost immediately. He knew the smell too well. Amara, he called softly, walking further in. She stood up slowly from beside Marcus' body. When Dr. Langston saw Marcus on the floor, his eyes widened in horror. What happened to him? Raymond stepped between them, gripping the doctor's arm firmly. Doctor, before you do anything, do not touch him. Just talk. Dr. Langston looked from Marcus to Amara, then back at Raymond. This man needs medical help now. And so does my sister, Raymond said. But both situations are connected, and before we move anyone, you will tell me why you were so desperate to find her. Amara trembled. She could feel the air tightening around her. The doctor hesitated, then spoke slowly. Because the infection she has is rare. It only appears when surgical equipment is improperly sanitized. The hospital is investigating. They already want statements. If she doesn't come forward soon, things get complicated. Amara's lips parted in shock. You mean, I wasn't the only one affected? The doctor's silence was the answer. Raymond inhaled sharply. So you're trying to avoid legal trouble? I'm trying to save her life, Dr. Langston insisted. But yes, if this goes public, my career is over. The hospital could shut down. I needed to speak with her before the investigation escalates. Raymond's eyes hardened. So everyone here has something to lose. A thick silence hung in the room. Dr. Langston suddenly knelt beside Marcus despite Raymond's warning. He checked his breathing, his pulse, then sniffed the food container on the table. He straightened slowly, looking directly at Amara. You gave him something. What was it? Amara shook her head. I didn't mean to. Raymond interjected. Doctor, can you stabilize him enough for transport or not? Dr. Langston hesitated, then nodded. Yes, but I need my medical bag from my car. Raymond nodded. Go, but quickly. The doctor rushed out. The moment the door shut behind him, Amara turned to Raymond, whispering desperately. What if he calls someone? What if he tells the hospital or the police? Raymond clenched his jaw. If he tries anything, I'll handle him. But right now, his priority is saving Marcus. And yours should be telling me the truth about everything, every detail. Amara wiped her tears. I will, I promise. But before Raymond could speak, a faint sound came from the floor. Marcus groaned. His finger twitched. His eyelids fluttered open just a little. He wasn't conscious, not fully, but he was trying to wake up. Raymond stiffened. If Marcus awoke now, before they reached the clinic. If he panicked. If he remembered the argument. Everything could explode instantly. Amara covered her mouth as Marcus murmured something incoherent. Raymond, she whispered shakily, what if he wakes up and starts talking? Raymond didn't answer. Because that possibility was already spiraling into something even darker. Marcus groaned again, his eyelids fluttering like someone fighting through a nightmare. His fingers twitched against the rug, and a weak, barely audible sound escaped his throat. Amara froze. Raymond stiffened. This was the worst possible moment for Marcus to regain consciousness. Don't move, Raymond whispered urgently. But Amara was already kneeling beside her husband, her trembling hands hovering over his chest. Marcus, Marcus, can you hear me? She whispered. His lips parted slightly, but only a wheezing breath escaped. His eyes remained unfocused, glassy, rolling faintly beneath heavy lids. Raymond pulled Amara back by the arm. Don't touch him, he hissed. If he wakes up fully and panics before the doctor returns, this situation becomes 10 times worse. Amara's voice cracked. But what if he dies while we're just standing here? Raymond's jaw flexed. Then let the trained medical professional handle it. The room fell into a tense silence, broken only by Marcus' shallow, uneven breaths. Amara wrapped her arms around herself, packing in small, desperate circles. "This is all my fault," she whispered. "If he dies, it's over. My life is finished." Raymond shot her a sharp look. "It wasn't supposed to get this far, Amara. You didn't think ahead. That's what scares me." She stopped packing, staring at him with wide, pleading eyes. "I wasn't trying to kill him. I just wanted him to stop threatening divorce. I wanted him to understand how much he was hurting me." Raymond didn't soften. "And instead, you hurt him." Tears spilled down Amara's cheeks again. But before Raymond could say anything else, the apartment door opened and Dr. Langston rushed back inside, medical bag in hand. He dropped to his knees beside Marcus and immediately began unzipping the kit. "I need space," he barked without looking up. Raymond pulled Amara to the opposite side of the room while the doctor worked swiftly, checking Marcus, heartbeat, temperature, and reflexes. Dr. Langston inserted a small injection into Marcus' arm. This will stabilize his breathing temporarily. Then he placed an oxygen mask over Marcus, mouth and nose. Amara stepped forward. "Is he going to live?" "For now," the doctor replied flatly. "But he needs full treatment within the next hour, or his organs will start shutting down." Amara collapsed into the nearest chair, shaking. Raymond crossed his arms, watching the doctor closely. "Can he be moved?" "Yes," Dr. Langston said, "but we must be extremely careful. He's weak." Raymond nodded. "Then we take him to your private clinic now." The doctor hesitated. "Detective, my clinic isn't exactly equipped for long-term emergency care, and once he stabilizes, he will be conscious enough to talk. He might mention poison, and without any paperwork, that becomes a dangerous situation for everyone." Raymond's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "So you're worried about the consequences?" "I'm worried about the truth coming out before we have control over it," the doctor said firmly. "Your sister's situation is already complicated on the medical side, but if her husband claims she poisoned him, my involvement becomes questionable." Amara swallowed hard. "So what are you saying, doctor?" Dr. Langston exhaled deeply and looked between the two siblings. "I'm saying we must handle this quietly. If the hospital gets involved, they will ask how Marcus became poisoned. They will run toxicology tests. They will dig into my history, your sister's surgical file, and everything connects." Raymond stiffened. "Are you threatening us?" "No," the surgeon said calmly. "I'm showing you the reality. We all have something to lose here. Your sister could be charged with attempted murder. I could lose my license and face a malpractice lawsuit. You, detective, could be questioned about withholding information." Silence hung heavy. Raymond's fists clenched. "What's your solution then?" Dr. Langston wiped sweat from his brow. "My clinic can stabilize Marcus, but after that, he must rest somewhere else. Somewhere discreet, somewhere he won't be questioned." Amara's voice quivered. "Like where?" "A private home," the doctor answered. "One without medical involvement, one where no one asks questions." Raymond stared at him in disbelief. "You want us to hide Marcus?" "I want him alive," the doctor corrected, "and I want all of us safe." Amara rubbed her forehead, packing again. "This is insane," she muttered. "How did things get so bad?" Raymond shot her a cold look. "You made a reckless choice, Amara, and now everyone has to deal with the consequences." The doctor finished, securing a temporary IV line. "He's stable enough for transport, but someone must ride in the back seat with him to monitor his breathing." "I'll do it," Amara said immediately. "No," Raymond objected. "You're too emotional right now. I'll stay with him." "But doctor—" Langston shook his head. "He's her husband. If he wakes up, she's the one he'll recognize first. That might calm him." Raymond frowned, but knew the doctor had a point. Dr. Langston zipped up the medical bag. "We need to leave now." They moved quickly. Raymond carried Marcus under his arms, while Amara held his legs again. As they maneuvered down the hallway, the dim apartment lights cast their shadows long and twisted against the walls. But just as they reached the doorway, a voice echoed from down the hall. Amara. They all stopped. Marcus, childhood best friend Darren, stood at the end of the corridor, his expression shifting from confusion to shock as he saw Marcus, limp body in Raymond's arms. Amara, what happened? Why is Marcus unconscious? And what is that smell? Amara froze, gripping Marcus' legs tighter. Raymond muttered under his breath. Not now. Dr. Langston straightened, adjusting his glasses nervously. Darren took a step closer. Someone tell me what's going on right now. The hallway fell silent. Raymond glanced at Amara. Amara glanced at the doctor. And Darren's expression hardened into something sharp, almost accusatory. I saw the paramedics on the next street, he said slowly. Did someone call them? Should I call them here? Panic shot through Amara's veins. Everything. They were seconds away from losing everything. Raymond stepped forward, trying to block Darren's view. Darren, listen. But Darren wasn't listening anymore. He was already reaching for his phone. And the moment that phone came out, their secret would be impossible to contain.
If this story is already touching your heart, please take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to Black Race Tailies, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep telling these powerful African and Black community stories to the world.
Darren's hand was already sliding into his pocket, fingers brushing the surface of his phone. His eyes darted between Marcus's unconscious body and Amara's terrified expression. The tension in the hallway thickened until the air felt tight enough to choke on. Darren, Raymond said sharply, stepping into his path, put the phone away. Darren frowned, confusion mixing with alarm. Detective Cole, I respect you, but this looks bad. Marcus is my friend. I can't just walk away and pretend I didn't see anything. Raymond lowered his voice. You don't understand the situation. Then explain it, Darren snapped. Because right now it looks like something terrible happened and you're trying to hide it. And that smell, what is going on? Amara's knees wobbled as she stood behind Raymond, still gripping Marcus's legs. Her voice cracked. Darren, please, don't call anyone. Darren's eyes softened slightly when he looked at her, but suspicion remained. Amara, I've known you two for years. If Marcus is hurt, he needs real help, not whatever this is. Raymond took a breath. He's already receiving medical help, he lied smoothly. We're transporting him to a private clinic right now. Darren raised an eyebrow. A private clinic, at night, without calling anyone. Dr. Langston stepped forward now, adjusting his glasses as if preparing to play his part. I'm his surgeon, he said calmly. He needs immediate stabilization before being transferred to a larger facility. Calling paramedics now would waste critical time. Darren looked at him skeptically. You're a surgeon, then why did you come from that direction? He pointed toward the stairway. Not from the parking lot where the doctors usually park. Dr. Langston faltered for a second, long enough for Darren to see it. Something inside Darren snapped. No, something's wrong here. He pulled his phone out completely. Raymond moved fast. He grabbed Darren's wrist before he could unlock the screen. Darren, listen to me. Right now, calling anyone will make this situation spiral out of control. Then let it, Darren shouted. Marcus deserves. He cut off abruptly as a groan escaped Marcus's lips. Everyone turned. Marcus's eyes opened halfway. Unfocused, weak, confused. He tried to speak, but the words slurred. Amara, why my stomach? Amara buckled, tears filling her eyes. Baby, don't talk, please, just rest. Marcus blinked slowly, trying to lift his hand. But his fingers only clawed at the air helplessly. Darren stared in horror. He's poisoned, Darren whispered. Isn't he? Someone poisoned him. Amara clapped a hand over her mouth. Raymond gripped Darren's shirt and pulled him close. You're going to calm down, he growled. Right now. Darren's breathing quickened. Raymond, You're covering for something. I can see it. And I won't let Marcus die because all of you are afraid of the truth. Raymond's jaw clenched, but before he could respond, Dr. Langston lifted his hands. Stop, all of you. Everyone turned to the surgeon, who looked pale and exhausted. Arguing here won't save Marcus. He's minutes from going into shock. We must leave now, or he won't survive long enough for anyone to explain anything. Darren swallowed hard, his fear overshadowing his suspicion. Is that true? He asked, voice trembling. Dr. Langston nodded solemnly. Yes. Darren stared at Marcus for a long moment. Then he made a decision. I'm coming with you, he said firmly. Amara gasped. No, Darren, please. You want me to trust you, Darren cut in. Then let me see where you're taking him. Let me see that you're actually trying to save his life. Raymond rubbed his forehead, torn between disaster and disaster. But then Marcus groaned again, this time louder, his body arching in pain. They had no time left. Fine, Raymond said abruptly. You're coming, but you do not call anyone, not yet. Darren nodded reluctantly. They continued moving down the hallway, Raymond carrying Marcus under his arms, while Amara supported his legs. Dr. Langston walked ahead, checking the man's breathing every few seconds. Darren followed closely behind, eyes glued to Marcus's limp body. They reached the parking lot. Dr. Langston's black SUV sat alone in the dim light, trunk already open. Inside were oxygen tanks, blankets, and emergency medical equipment, too much for a casual house call. Darren raised an eyebrow. So this is your vehicle. The doctor ignored him. Raymond and Amara carefully laid Marcus in the back seat, where Dr. Langston fastened an oxygen mask and secured the IV drip. Marcus wheezed, eyes flickering open again. Amara, he whispered, why you crying? She choked on a sob. I'm here, baby, I'm here. His hand twitched toward her. You smell strong. Amara shattered inside. Darren stared at her. What does he mean by that? Amara's breath hitched. Raymond shot her a warning look. Not now, he muttered. Get in the car. But Darren didn't move. He stepped in front of the SUV door, blocking them. No, someone explains this. What smell? Why does he look like he's fighting for his life? Amara, tell me the truth. Amara's chest tightened painfully. She couldn't speak. Not here, not now. Raymond stepped forward. Darren, move. No, Darren said again, voice trembling with determination. Not until somebody tells me what I just walked into. Raymond's eyes hardened. The doctor glanced nervously toward the parking lot entrance. Amara's breathing quickened. Then Marcus suddenly jerked, coughing violently, body shaking. Dr. Langston shouted, We're out of time. He's crashing. Now move. Darren stumbled aside in shock as Raymond shoved him away from the door. Dr. Langston slammed the SUV door shut. Raymond jumped into the passenger seat. Amara ran to the back to sit beside her husband. Darren stood in the lamplight, chest heaving, tears forming. And as the SUV roared to life, he realized something. Something that made his stomach drop. Marcus hadn't said a single word that made sense, except one thing. Why my stomach? Darren's eyes widened. That was the question of a man who suspected the truth. And Darren understood exactly what kind of truth destroys marriages and lives. He whispered to himself, No, Amara, what did you do? Dr. Langston drove fast, too fast, through the dim streets, tires humming against the asphalt as the SUV sliced through the quiet night. In the back seat, Amara held Marcus's hand tightly, her chest rising and falling in frantic bursts. His breathing remained shallow, raspy, and uneven beneath the oxygen mask. Raymond kept glancing over his shoulder. Doctor, how far is this clinic? 10 minutes, Dr. Langston replied, voice strained. But if he crashes again before we get there, we may not make it. Marcus's head tilted sideways, as if he were drifting in and out of consciousness. His eyelids fluttered weakly, his lips trembling. "Amara," he whispered, barely audible. She leaned closer. "Yes, baby, I'm here." His eyes opened slightly, confused, unfocused, but searching for answers. "My stomach feels like fire," he murmured. Amara swallowed hard. "It's okay, the doctor is helping you." But Marcus blinked slowly and stared at her with faint suspicion. "You made dinner, right?" Her hands began to shake. "Yes, I cooked for both of us." His brow creased faintly, as though he were trying to remember something important. Food tasted bitter. Amara froze. Raymond turned sharply, eyes locking on her. "Amara," he said warningly under his breath. "I didn't," she began, but her voice cracked. Marcus's body jerked suddenly as pain surged through him. He grabbed his stomach, groaning. Dr. Langston glanced into the rearview mirror. "He's deteriorating. The poison, whatever it was, is aggressive." Raymond snapped. Amara said it wasn't enough to kill him. The doctor shot him a hard look. "You don't get to decide that. The body reacts differently depending on the toxins involved." Amara's tears fell onto Marcus's hand. "Please, please don't die," she whispered. Marcus turned his head, weakly toward her again. "Why you crying? What did you do?" Amara sobbed harder, pressing her forehead against his hand. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Raymond clenched his jaw. This is not the time for confessions. But Marcus continued, his voice slurring as his strength faded. "Amara, why you smell like..." His words trailed into nothing. Raymond felt every muscle in his body tighten. If Marcus regained full consciousness and remembered the fight, the argument, the bitter taste, everything would unravel. And Amara knew it too. She squeezed his hand tightly, as if she could keep him from remembering by sheer will. Suddenly, Marcus coughed violently, choking, his body convulsing. "Doctor!" Amara screamed. Dr. Langston's voice trembled for the first time. "I need to pull over now." He swerved into the parking lot of an abandoned shopping center. The SUV skidded to a stop. He leaped out and flung open the back door, pulling his medical bag with shaky hands. "Move," he barked. Amara jumped out of the car, stumbling backward as Dr. Langston laid Marcus across the back seat, loosening his shirt. Raymond stood close, ready to assist. But he wasn't prepared for what the doctor said next. "He's entering cardiac distress. I need to administer a counteragent now." Amara covered her mouth. "A counteragent? You brought one." The doctor didn't answer immediately. His hands trembled as he prepared an injection, one far bigger than the earlier stabilizer. Raymond narrowed his eyes. "Doctor, what exactly are you giving him?" "A general toxin neutralizer," the surgeon replied, "designed for cases like this." Raymond didn't blink. "Why do you have that in your vehicle at all?" Dr. Langston froze for a split second. But a split second was long enough. Raymond's stomach dropped as realization crept in. "You were expecting this," he said quietly. Amara looked at the doctor in horror. "What does that mean?" she whispered. Raymond stepped closer, voice low and dangerous. "You said other patients had complications. You said the hospital was investigating your equipment. You said you needed Amara's file before things escalated." Dr. Langston swallowed nervously. "Detective, this is not the time." "No," Raymond cut him off. "This is exactly the time." Amara stared at the doctor, heart pounding. "Doctor, did you know something was wrong after my surgery?" He didn't answer. "Did you?" Raymond demanded. Finally, the doctor sighed shakily. "Yes." Amara gasped. Raymond stepped back, shock and anger colliding on his face. "You knew," Raymond repeated. "You knew the equipment was contaminated and you still let her leave. Why?" Dr. Langston's voice cracked. "Because I thought I could fix it before anything spread. I thought the symptoms would be mild. I didn't expect necrotic tissue. I didn't expect her to get worse so fast." Raymond shook his head slowly. You tried to cover your tracks. The doctor's eyes darted to the syringe in his hand. I was trying to prevent a scandal. If this goes public, I lose everything. My reputation, my license, my entire career. Amara trembled as anger and betrayal washed over her. You let me suffer, she whispered. You let me smell like this. You let my body rot because you didn't want trouble. The doctor's jaw tightened. Yes, and I'm trying to fix it. Raymond grabbed his arm. Not like this. What's truly in that syringe? The doctor's face darkened. A neutralizer, he said again. Raymond didn't release him. Or something to finish the job and make this all disappear. Amara stumbled backward, horrified. The doctor's silence was louder than any scream. Marcus suddenly convulsed harder, gasping for breath. The doctor tore his arm free. Let me save him, he shouted. Raymond lunged to stop him. But he was too late. The doctor jammed the needle into Marcus's arm. Amara screamed. Raymond grabbed the doctor and shoved him back hard. What did you just inject him with? Dr. Langston raised his hands defensively. The only thing that can stop the toxin, believe me. But Marcus's body responded instantly. His back arched violently, his breathing halted. Then he went completely still. Amara collapsed beside him, shaking uncontrollably. Marcus, wake up, please. Raymond's heart dropped as he pressed his fingers to Marcus's neck. He felt nothing. No pulse. No breath. No movement. Raymond turned slowly toward the doctor, eyes burning with fury. What did you just do? Dr. Langston stepped back, trembling. I didn't mean. Raymond grabbed him by the collar. You killed him. Amara's scream echoed through the empty parking lot. Raymond tightened his grip. And for the first time, the doctor didn't deny it. Amara's scream echoed across the empty lot as Raymond released the doctor and rushed back to Marcus. Her hands trembled violently as she pressed her fingers against her husband's neck, desperately searching for a pulse that refused to appear. Marcus, please, she cried, shaking his shoulders. Wake up, please don't leave me like this. Raymond knelt beside her, his expression tight and conflicted. Even as an officer, he struggled to steady his breath. Death wasn't foreign to him, but death like this, chaotic, secretive, spiraling from one mistake into catastrophe, was something else entirely. Amara, he said softly, you need to step back. No, she yelled. He's alive, he has to. But Marcus lay unmoving, limbs limp, eyes closed, chest still. Dr. Langston stood a short distance away, breathing hard, his hands shaking with the weight of what he'd done. Raymond turned slowly toward him, rising to his feet with a controlled fury that sent a chill through the air. You injected him with something you didn't explain, Raymond said. You knew he was unstable, and you did it anyway. The doctor swallowed. I told you it was the neutralizer. The poison was overtaking him. He needed it. Raymond took one step forward. Then why is he dead? The doctor clenched his trembling hands. He shouldn't be. The dosage was right. I measured it. Unless. Unless what? Raymond snapped. Dr. Langston hesitated, eyes darting between Amara's sobbing form and Marcus's body. Raymond advanced another step. Unless what, doctor? Unless the toxins in his system were stronger than you told me, the doctor muttered. Or unless he ingested more than she claimed. Amara's head shot up, tears streaking down her cheeks. I didn't give him more. I swear I did, she cried. It was just enough to make him sick, not kill him. The doctor exhaled shakily. Then his body reacted unpredictably, and now. He looked at the ground. Raymond stared at him with a steady, piercing silence. Then he grabbed the doctor by the collar and dragged him backward, slamming him against the side of the SUV. You're responsible for this, Raymond growled. You ignored infections, hid complications, and tried to fix it in the dark, And now Marcus is dead. The doctor's voice cracked. I was trying to save everyone. The infection, the toxins, losing him destroys everything. You're worried about your career, Raymond gritted out. A man is dead. Amara suddenly gasped, a sharp, frantic gasp. Hey, he moved. Raymond froze. He released the doctor immediately and rushed back to Marcus. Amara leaned over the body, hands shaking uncontrollably. I saw it, his fingers. Raymond, he moved. Raymond scanned Marcus's face. Still. Silent. Raymond pressed 2 fingers against Marcus's neck. No pulse. He pressed again, firmer. Still nothing. But then, a weak, almost imperceptible tremor passed through Marcus's hand. Raymond jerked back in shock. What? Dr. Langston rushed over, kneeling beside Marcus. Move, he barked again, snapping into surgeon mode. He pried one of Marcus's eyelids open. The pupil twitched. His heart may be restarting, slowly, the doctor whispered, or the injection is triggering spasms. Raymond clenched his jaw. Is he alive or not? The doctor looked up. I don't know yet. Amara sobbed, clutching her chest as hope and terror collided violently inside her. The doctor quickly opened his bag again, pulling out small electrodes. This is not ideal, he murmured, but if there's even a hint of cardiac activity, I can stimulate it manually. He placed pads on Marcus's chest. Amara's breath stopped. Raymond whispered, Doctor, if you kill him this time, I swear. But the doctor didn't look at him. He pressed the trigger. Marcus's body jerked slightly. Once. Twice. A third time. Then nothing. No, Amara whispered. No, no, no. Raymond's heart sank. But just as the doctor lowered his hands in defeat, Marcus coughed. A hoarse, painful, shallow cough, but a cough. Amara screamed with relief. Raymond froze. The doctor exhaled shakily. Marcus's eyelids fluttered halfway open. His voice scraped out like sandpaper. Amara. She grabbed his hand, crying hard. Yes, I'm here, I'm right here. Marcus blinked weakly. Why my stomach hurts so much? Raymond exchanged a tense glance with the surgeon. But Marcus wasn't finished. He lifted a trembling finger, pointing at Amara. You gave me something. Amara shook her head violently. No, I didn't mean to, I swear. I didn't want to hurt you. Marcus winced, eyes narrowing. You wanted to punish me. Amara broke down again, clutching his hand. Marcus, please, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. But Marcus's voice dropped lower, more dangerous. You stink because of surgery. Her breath hitched. You hide from me, lie to me. Amara felt a cold wave of dread wash over her. Marcus coughed violently again. His breathing worsened. Raymond stepped in. Marcus, focus. You need to stay awake. We're trying to get you help. Marcus's eyes rolled. Suddenly, his grip on Amara's hand tightened. You tried to kill me. Amara screamed, shaking her head. No, I did. I swear I did. Raymond clenched his fists. Dr. Langston checked Marcus's pulse again. He's fatting again, the doctor said urgently. We need to move now. Amara looked down at Marcus, heart shattering as he whispered. I won't forget this. His eyes closed again. The doctor shouted, Load him into the car, we're losing him. Raymond and the surgeon lifted Marcus again. Amara sobbed, trailing behind them. But just as they were about to place Marcus inside the SUV, the sound of another car's engine approached. Headlights swept across the parking lot. A second vehicle pulled in, tires crunching on gravel. Raymond's breath caught. Dr. Langston paled. Amara froze. Because stepping out of that vehicle was the last person any of them expected. And they looked furious. The second vehicle screeched to a stop, headlights carving harsh shadows across the abandoned lot. The engine cut abruptly, and the door swung open with force. Darren stepped out. His face, a mix of fear, anger, and betrayal, was directed straight at Amara. He clenched his fists as he approached. "I followed you," he said quietly. "I wasn't going to let Marcus disappear somewhere in the middle of the night, not without knowing the truth." Raymond immediately stepped in front of Amara, blocking Darren from getting too close. "Turn around," Raymond growled. "Go home, this is not your business anymore." Darren scoffed. "Not my business. Marcus is like a brother to me, and right now he's dying. I heard him. I heard what he said to her." His voice broke as he pointed at Amara. "He said she tried to kill him." Amara stumbled backward, shaking violently. "No, Darren, please, it wasn't like that." "Save it," Darren snapped. "I knew something was wrong the moment I saw you hiding things. I knew it." Marcus groaned weakly from where Raymond and Dr. Langston held him upright, preparing to load him back inside the SUV. Amara froze at the sound. "Please," she whispered, stepping forward. "Please, we need to get him to the clinic. There's no time to argue." Darren didn't move from her path. "No, not until I understand why you poisoned him." Raymond pushed Darren back firmly. "This isn't the time," he said. "If you delay us again, I will arrest you myself." Darren's jaw tightened. "You're protecting her," he said bitterly. "You know she's guilty." Amara choked on a gasp. Raymond didn't respond, because guilt or not, Marcus needed help. Darren pointed at the doctor next. "And you," his voice wavered. "What kind of surgeon hides things? Why are you helping them sneak him away?" Dr. Langston's hands trembled as he clutched his medical bag. "I'm trying to save his life," he muttered. "No," Darren said sharply. "You're trying to save your career." The accusation landed like a blow. Raymond stepped forward again. "Darren, that's enough." But Darren didn't back down. He grabbed Marcus's limp arm. "No, if we're taking him somewhere, I'm coming. I'm not letting you hide whatever this is." Raymond started to argue, but Marcus's body suddenly lurched. His eyes shot open wide, wild, unfocused. He gasped like someone drowning. "Get him in the car," Dr. Langston shouted. All arguments stopped instantly. Raymond and the surgeon shoved Marcus back into the SUV, laying him across the seat as his chest heaved in erratic spasms. Amara scrambled into the back beside him, clutching his hand despite Darren's glare. Darren climbed in too, refusing to be left behind. Raymond slammed the door. Dr. Langston jumped back into the driver's seat. The SUV roared to life and tore through the empty parking lot toward the clinic. Inside the vehicle, Marcus's breathing rattled violently. His body jerked as toxins battled the neutralizer in his bloodstream. Amara leaned close, crying openly. "Marcus, stay with me. Please stay with me." But Marcus opened his eyes halfway, his gaze foggy yet filled with something raw. "Why, Amara?" he whispered. Her stomach dropped. "Why what?" she said shakily. He swallowed slowly, painfully. "Why you hate yourself so much." The words shattered something inside her. Marcus winced again, clutching his stomach. "You were enough before all this." Amara broke into sobs. "I just wanted you to look at me again. I just wanted to feel beautiful again." Marcus blinked, tears forming. "I loved you before the surgery." He gasped as pain surged through him again. "But you chose pain for both of us." Dr. Langston shouted from the front seat. "He's fatting. Talk to him, but keep him awake." Amara cupped Marcus's face gently. "Baby, I'm sorry. I never wanted this. I didn't mean for tonight to happen. I didn't mean for any of it to happen." Marcus opened his mouth, trying to speak, but his breaths came out ragged. Darren leaned in too. "Marcus, stay awake, man. Stay with us." But Marcus's eyelids drooped. His breaths grew shallower. Raymond leaned over the seat. "Doctor, how much longer?" 3 minutes, the doctor yelled. Marcus exhaled one final shaky breath, then went completely still. Amara screamed. Marcus, Marcus, wake up, wake up. Raymond pressed 2 fingers to Marcus's neck. Nothing. Darren grabbed Marcus's shirt desperately. No, 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 Marcus, no. Amara sobbed uncontrollably, collapsing over him. Dr. Langston's voice broke. Raymond, he's gone. Raymond's chest tightened. Darren covered his face, trembling. Amara's scream tore through the SUV like a blade. No, he can't be gone. He can't be gone, please, please. She clung to Marcus's body, shaking violently. But Marcus didn't respond. And in that moment, the weight of everything came crashing down. The surgery. The infection. The lies. The poison. The desperation. The cover-ups. The mistakes. It had all led to this final, irreversible moment. Raymond rested a trembling hand on Amara's shoulder. Amara, stop. No, she cried. He's alive, he has to be. But he was. The SUV slowed and stopped in front of the clinic, but it no longer mattered. Raymond swallowed hard and looked at Amara, Darren, and Dr. Langston. This ends here, he said quietly. No more lies, no more running. Amara looked up at him, eyes hollow with grief and guilt. What happens to me now? She whispered. Raymond closed his eyes, pained. I don't know, he said softly, but the truth will come out. And as sirens wailed faintly in the distance, someone must have called without them noticing. The weight of the night settled around them. Every choice they made had consequences, and those consequences had finally arrived.
Thank you for watching Black Race Tailies. Remember, every story carries a lesson, and every lesson carries our legacy. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this story with someone who needs its message today. See you in the next tale.